the other person was screaming on the phone.
This story that we have with this specific individual is wild.
I just don't see the reason why I have to put up with this person's toxicity.
50/50 podcast. Hi everyone, I'm Yas.
And I'm Yel.
And welcome back to 50/50.
Yes, and you already know, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are here every single week with new episodes, but you don't want to miss it, so just go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we always have fun topics to talk about. At least I feel like they're fun and interesting.
Fun, interesting, and sometimes juicy like today.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're talking about toxic family members, and let's face it, you have it, we have it.
Everybody has toxic people in your family. It's just bound to happen. Like, nobody's perfect.
Yep.
You know, no family's perfect, so people have toxic people in their lives. It just happens.
And let's keep it real. We have a toxic family member that's trying to get back into our life.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about it. So we sometimes give out advice. We've done some of these episodes that we give out advice, and I feel like now this is kind of like we kind of want advice from the
advice this time
from the audience. From in the comment section, we need some advice because what are we going to do?
Exactly.
This toxic person has been in our life really our whole life.
Yeah.
It's not an immediate family member, thank God.
Yeah.
But it's we can say a mean-hearted person.
Yeah.
Cold.
Very mean. They do really mean things, and it's not even just to one person. It's really to everybody. To be honest,
to
everybody that they're around, they are just very mean to them, rude, like
manipulative.
Like
if you don't do what they say, for example, if they're like, you need to call
so and so.
If you don't call so-and-so, they're going to start screaming, yelling, like literally
insulting you,
throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And they do insult you.
Yeah.
And then they get so angry and aggravated and irritated, boom, they hang up the phone on you.
Exactly. So you're always left kind of like,
wait, what?
And then the craziest part is they don't want to talk about it afterwards.
They never want to talk about it.
Because there's always like some type of big blowout from their end. Like nobody's ever able to respond or whatever. But then they never want to talk about the situation and want to just like brush it under the rug and then move on. And that's what everybody ends up doing because you just want to, kind of have like peace, but nothing ever gets solved.
So it's like this like unspoken thing. Like we know what's going on, but nobody wants to talk about it.
Exactly.
So to not get into too many details, this person is, I guess, part of our extended family, we can say.
Yeah, part of our extended family. Mm-hmm.
They decided that they don't want to be in our family anymore.
Yeah.
So they excluded themselves from our family. Now, many years later, they all of a sudden decided to reach out.
Yeah.
And life has been good. It has been peaceful without them. It's been good. It's been fine. And now all of a sudden, they want to come back into, I guess they want to come back. I don't know why they're reaching out because they haven't said their motives or anything. They're just like, hey, let's talk about the incident that happened.
Yeah. Which is unlikely also because they don't like to talk about anything and any type of talk never goes anywhere. So this is so different and weird that it's just, and it's hard to, it's kind of, I guess, bad, but we already have these like preconceived notions because of them, their past, like their history of what they've done, like how they cause all this chaos and then come back and like don't want to talk about everything. So it's kind of hard for us to think that they have good intentions. It's hard for me, at least.
They've never had good intentions, and I don't think it's like even preconceived notions of them. It's literally like precedent.
That's
like,
true.
This is literally how they've acted every single time.
Yeah, like you've showed us how the type of person that you are.
Exactly.
We treat you like you've taught us that you should be treated, basically.
And the way that we treat them. I'm sorry, we're not being so,
we're being a little bit vague. I know.
We're being vague because we don't really want to say too many specifics, but it's just so crazy, like everything that happened. If we ever go into detail, which we might one day, who knows? Yeah. But because this is literally this story that we have with this specific individual is wild. It's legit, like,
and it goes back to like our childhood. Like I would love to say it all, but I don't know if I feel ready yet. But
but this goes back to our childhood, like literally just being treated poorly as a child from this individual. So it's like childhood trauma, maybe. I don't know. I would have to talk to a therapist.
This person is many years older than us, so it's not like we were children at the same time. When we were children, they were adults already.
Yeah, they were grown adults. So this person is probably like at least 20 years older than us, maybe?
At least.
Yeah, at least 20
plus
years older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe like 25 years older than us.
Yeah.
And so, old people. Yeah. But that, they want to come back into our life. They decided they don't want to be in it. And now all of a sudden they just said, kind of like, hey, I want to talk about the incident that happened, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And that's a crazy thing too, because, I feel like we've come up here in different episodes and everything. We've talked about different things because for, dealing with toxic people is so different when it's your family versus like a friend, whatever. Because I have no problem getting toxic people out of my life. Friends. Like we sat up here and we've said it a million times. Like if somebody's toxic, like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend in general, whatever, cut them out of your life. Why are you with them? Right? So easy in my opinion, so easy to cut them out. I know it's not easy for everybody, but it should be easy for you because
there's no ties. There's nothing. There's no
reason for you to put up with their BS. There really isn't.
There is no reason, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, but then when you get to family members, that's when it gets hard because.
But you know what? Thinking about it, why does it get hard?
I know why does it get hard, but I think it's because, for example, when you have a family, you have so many different people, point of views, so many different things, and you may not want to have that person in your life anymore. But then if everybody else does accept them back, you kind of sometimes feel forced to, maybe you don't have to have the best relationship with them or even a relationship, but you will see them at parties, you will see them at different, family functions and all that. So I feel like it is harder to avoid them, even if you want them out of your life. For example, me with this person, I personally, I don't even claim them as family. That's me. And that's my point of view. Yeah, that's been my point of view for a long time. I don't claim them as family because I just don't feel that. And
yeah, you haven't.
Yeah, and that's okay for me. But I think it's also so different when it's immediate family because I feel so different about if it's like your parents and your siblings. I would never recommend that to anybody. Luckily for us, I don't have nobody's toxic in our immediate family. Thank God. We're all get along so well.
I feel like immediate family, I don't know, this is just my point of view, right? Everybody has their own ideas, but I think in the immediate family, that's a different story. You need to forgive and you need to see your wrong that you did. They need to see their wrong and you need to forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Because, and of course, talk about it.
Yeah.
But that needs to be, you need to move forward because you're not going to be mad at your mom, your dad, your sister, unless, they're really horrible. They've done something and there are situations that horrible things happen.
We're talking about petty things.
I'm talking about petty things. I'm talking about just, being rude, insulting,
or you don't like that let's say your parents get too involved in your life, stuff like that. Those are just those are things that harmless, you can get over those things. Now other stuff, more serious situations, obviously we're not talking about that because that's a whole nother
exactly. Whole nother thing. And what we're talking about here is more of these light things, just and insulting. They use insults. They're more manipulative. They always want it their way. If it's not their way, they start crying, throwing tantrums. And these are grown people that we're talking about.
Right.
So that's more of the stuff that we're talking about here.
Yeah. So for me, that's why it's kind of hard too, because I have had friends who, they have family issues, whatever. And I feel like anytime that I give them any type of advice, I'm always like, no, just make up with your family member. It's not worth it. Life is short. Which I do believe that. But when it comes to this scenario and this person, it's really hard for me to think that. I honestly think life is better off without them in our life, at least.
I agree.
They can do their own thing. I wish the best for them. I really do.
Me too.
But when they come into our life, it's never a good thing.
It's too much chaos. That's the thing. We haven't had chaos. And I know you guys have heard us mention, we've had a rough time in our life and everything. So this kind of included that rough time.
Yes, it did.
That we had. And so our life was really chaotic when they were in it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they chose to leave.
Yeah.
And our life kind of mellowed out a little bit. Became more I don't know how to explain, neutral. There was nothing crazy. They say, a boring life is a blessed life. A blessed life because there's no crazy things happening, and so our life has been like that. Thank God, knock on wood, that everything has been great.
Exactly.
And so now, it just worries me. Why do they want to come back in?
Yeah.
What drama? Why do they want to cause more drama? Because that's all that they really do.
Exactly.
And so is it worth it? Is it worth having people that are dramatic and all this stuff come back into your life? And when you've had a nice, neutral, calm years, Yeah.
And what do you do when also, maybe you don't want them back in your life, but your other family members do?
Yeah.
And that's also a tricky situation to handle. But in my opinion, for example, I feel like with toxic people, in our specific situation, I just feel like it's fine to, get over that, like any, bad blood that there was or whatever. I do think it's beneficial to have a conversation. Like I said, this person never ever wants to have a conversation.
What if that person doesn't want to talk to you? For example, let's say it's between me and you, right? Yeah. And that person only wants to talk to you and doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So what do we do in that case?
I know that, and that's when it gets tricky because, you're my sister, so I always do everything with my. So it's so hard. If somebody doesn't want to talk to you, then I couldn't talk to them either because it just wouldn't. And plus, that's just different. If you have a problem with my sister, you have a problem with me.
That's how I feel too. I know.
It's hard for me to.
Okay, let's say it's one of our parents. They want to talk to our parents, but they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah, I mean that's also tricky. But I would let obviously our parents like I would not.
I think it's easier when it's the parent.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's not about let, but I mean I would be like that's fine for them to talk to them, whatever. But that is kind of weird that you don't want to talk to that person's kids, or you have a problem with that.
Yeah, because it happens
when you're so old
family
too.
Yeah, so that's weird. Yeah,
it's so weird. It's such
just trying to throw out scenarios.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then just to say it too, just to like say it a little bit more about this. There's been a lot of incidents with this person. Okay, and they don't always necessarily involve us. It's like with our family in general, right? They always have an incident with somebody, but this one specifically had to do with
this specific incident
that kind of kept them out of our life for the last few years, like completely out of our life, because I never consider myself to be that close to them in reality.
Me neither, but other people in our family have considered them very close.
Exactly, and people that we are close with consider them close. So it's kind of like
exactly,
it's like that whole scenario there, and it's more than one person that is that we've considered ourselves close to, or that we are close to, that has them as somebody close in their life.
Yeah,
they also always have incidents with them. Like it's just this person has incidents with everybody. Okay, they have a lot of issues with people. They do, and this one specifically though is because they made a plan, and like I said, we're keeping it vague because we don't want to say too many details, but they made a plan to do something, okay? And it was kind of like an idea. So they're like, oh, let's give out ideas. So we all gave our input. We all gave different ideas. And we're like, nobody was saying like, this is what we have to do. So it was all just kind of like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about
that? Just throwing out ideas, just kind of saying like.
In a group chat.
This all happened through a group chat initially, right? And then it came into
like a personal
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I specifically say so people don't say, things can get misconstrued through a text, right? Because this was not through text, the whole thing. So it was just throwing out ideas through text.
Exactly.
That's what we did initially.
Exactly. And there was no harm. There's like, I don't know how many people in that group chat, like let's say like 8 people or something like that. And so we're all just throwing out ideas, and like nobody is like I said, nobody's saying this is what must be done. It's just simply throwing out ideas. Then this person, they have their idea, and nobody seemed to like their idea. That's just the truth. Nobody really liked their idea. And they didn't say this is what I want to do, because it's different if you have an idea or a plan that you want to do and you're like, this is what I'm doing. If you want to come, join me. And if you don't want to come, don't come.
Well, yeah.
That is like, okay, because then you can say, okay, that person really wants to do that. And if we can join, it's convenient for us. And if it's not convenient for us, then we won't join or whatever. You know what I mean? But they were looking for ideas.
They wanted ideas. They were like, hey, I'm open to ideas. Like, what should we do?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then,
without us even knowing, apparently this person has been like fuming or something on the other end. And they were taking every like idea as like something against them,
like putting down their idea.
Exactly. And at the end we even said, we're like, okay, like not everybody was able to join their idea, but we were like, okay, like the few of us that were able to, we're like, okay, we'll join you like in your idea, like let's do that, whatever.
So out of all the people, like 6 people that were in there, 3 decided that it was a good idea.
Exactly.
And they were going to do it, and then the other 3 were just like, we're not,
we can't make it happen for whatever reason. We just can't go. Right at the last minute, this person decides, once we already, like a few of us, pretty much the group is split, half of us agree, half of us don't agree. That person who came up with the idea, this toxic person, okay, they decide, they're like, you know what, they send out a text, everything's off.
Yep. The
plan is off. Everybody do whatever you want that weekend, because I'm not doing what the original plan. So that's it. It's over. Okay. Very clear, right? We're all like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of, out of nowhere. And then another person in the group chat is like, okay, well, I still want to do something. It was to celebrate another person. So they're like, I still want to do something to celebrate this person. So I still want to come up with a plan. They came up with a plan, and they were kind of like, if you want to come and join, come and join. And again, this is for the whole group text, okay? And not everybody joined. But the majority did. The majority did to this other thing. I was one of the people who joined the other thing.
I was one of the people who joined the other one because
it was more convenient.
It was more convenient, and to not get too in depth, but I also had a child, a very young child at that that point.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't convenient. The other plan that took me probably 8 hours to get to.
Yeah.
And this one was I think it was like 30 minutes from my house.
Exactly.
So I chose that one because I'm not going to go with an infant driving 8 hours.
And I chose the plan because I honestly liked it better, but also the other plan was canceled. And I was originally going to go to that other plan. So since that one was canceled, I now went to this plan. And, we had a great time, whatever. This person was in the group chat. They knew about the plan. So it's not even like we went behind their back. The other person who made the second, I guess we can call it, the second plan, they even personally told the toxic person, hey, just as a reminder, we're doing this and this and that. Like at this time, here's the address, like set the location, everything, and you're, welcome to join. That person then even responds, I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah. And you do whatever you want.
So, okay, those things. And it's so funny though, because at the moment when that person read the text, that person read it as like, oh, I'll do whatever I want. It's like about, the different point of view, like, I'll do whatever I want. You do whatever you want. And that person was like, oh, like that's okay. That's nice of them to say, kind of like whatever,
we all do whatever we want.
We all do whatever we want.
They're so oblivious to I feel like the intent behind it. It's through text. So this is through text. So that's why the person is very like, oh yeah, like so positive reading. Yeah. Okay, I'll do whatever I want and you do whatever you. Great. I love that idea.
They read it so positively. And then we find out later that toxic person actually meant it like fighting words. Like, I'll do whatever I want and you do whatever you want. Because you're about to know why. So then, okay, we go to the event. We can say, it happens, everything. Like we said, the majority of the people from the group chat actually did come, but not everybody, but the majority did. And, we sent pictures in the group chat and everything about what we did.
Because that was the plan. So that plan was that we have to send the pictures.
Yeah.
To not get too in detail as to what it is, but that was what we were going to do. Everybody had to send a picture
of how they celebrated this person. Yeah. That was kind of what we were doing to honor that person. It was just, to highlight them or whatever. So anywho, the day goes by, that toxic person doesn't say anything, but we happen to see in their stories, again, none of us really talked about it. We all kind of individually saw this, where we see in their stories that they went out with other friends and they went out to eat and did like some sightseeing and like just they were having their own they did their own thing.
They had a good time,
which is fine.
You can tell that they had a good time.
Exactly, and which is fine. And that wasn't even it wasn't their original plan either. So it wasn't like they were just doing something completely different and it's okay, it's fine, it's whatever. We kind of saw that, and like I said, nobody really talked about it, but individually we all thought I was like, oh, that's why she canceled her plans. Like that's what I was thinking. They had something else come up. Yeah. So it kind of was like all making sense to me. But again, didn't think much of it. It was just kind of like, we were moving on. The next day, the toxic person calls the person who made the plan.
The person who made the new plan.
So let's call that person, just to not make it confusing. I hope you guys aren't confused.
Let's call the toxic person Steve.
Let's call the toxic person Steve, and then we're going to call the person who made the plan B Dymnd. Okay?
Yeah, I like that.
So next day, Steve, who remember, Steve made this original plan, canceled it themselves, goes and does something different, okay? Doesn't tell nobody about it.
And Steve is perfectly happy. You see in the stories that they're perfectly happy. They're smiling, at least for the camera.
They're having a good time.
They're enjoying themselves.
Exactly. We all posted our pictures how the group chat agreed.
It was an agreement.
This wasn't trying to flaunt or anything. This is like what the group chat agreed. Like whatever you do to celebrate this person, please share it in our group chat. But anyways, Steve calls Dymnd the next day, and when we tell you, explain this phone call, but it's not even going to do it justice of how this phone call went. But basically,
phone call literally lasted 60 seconds.
Yeah. It literally lasted 60 seconds, and Steve just called Dymnd didn't even know what was happening, so Dymnd answers the phone and is like, Dymnd just answers the phone and is like, oh, hi, how are you doing? What?
How are you?
Yeah, how are you?
So happy and really oblivious. It's so oblivious to everything.
Oblivious to the whole problem, and Steve just goes off. Steve is like, just every bad word that you can think of.
Every single one, just blurted out. This person wasn't taking a breath. Okay, it didn't take a breath. I don't even know how Dymnd didn't just hang up the phone on them.
Yeah, and Dymnd didn't hang up the phone because Dymnd was trying to get a word in. Dymnd couldn't get one word in.
Dymnd didn't even say one word. We're present for all this stuff, so it's crazy.
Yeah. And so we happened to be there. I worked from home, so I could hear everything. And this was the other person, Steve, was screaming on the phone. Yeah. So it was impossible to not hear everything, okay? And basically, Steve was pissed that Dymnd had ended up doing something to celebrate this person.
Yeah.
And it's just
because Steve didn't want anyone, I guess, to end up actually celebrating this person.
Steve didn't want anybody, from what we understand, because again, this is like this person, they insulted and hung up the phone.
It was 60 seconds of it. Steve insulting Dymnd. Dymnd, not only Dymnd, but Dymnd's family, Dymnd's everything that has to do with Dymnd.
Yeah.
Her whole personality, her whole character, everything about Dymnd. And poor Dymnd is just there like what just happened to me?
Yeah.
Because Dymnd had no idea.
I mean, nobody, like, what Steve was saying, basically, from what the person, Dymnd could pick up, is like, you basically, like, kind of like made me look bad by me being the only one who didn't go to the event. When we were all talking about it in the group chat. Steve even got a personal invitation.
Yeah.
But
nobody else got a personal invitation.
Nobody else got a personal invitation. Dymnd was even nice enough to give them a personal invitation in case they didn't see the group text.
I did not get a personal invitation.
Neither did I. But I still saw it on the group text.
I saw it and I went.
And we went, exactly. So Steve was pissed. Like, let's just be real, that they weren't involved, that they didn't go to the event when it was their choice. 100%.
Steve was pissed, I think, that they didn't go. And then everybody, all 20 people ended up going, doing everything, and everybody, those 25 people saw that they were doing something else.
Exactly. But again, nobody talked about it. Even in our group chat, nobody mentioned
Steve.
Nobody mentioned Steve, or like, oh, where's Steve's pictures? Because Steve didn't post anything. Okay, so like, oh, about that, about like, celebrating
what's Steve
the person
doing today. Nobody asked.
Nobody asked. Everything was perfectly fine. Like, the fact that Steve didn't show up was honestly not even that big of a deal.
It wasn't even missed.
It wasn't even talked about. No, everybody was on to the next thing, and that happened one day. So the next day, even when Steve calls, this is already yesterday's news. Like, nobody cares anymore. It was over.
It was over.
The celebration, everything was over. So anyways, that is why this toxic person decided to exit, all of our lives, because of this situation that is just, like, honestly so ridiculous.
They literally had a temper tantrum on the phone. That's what it was. They had a temper tantrum, like, literally screaming, yelling, stomping, rolling them on the floor, losing their mind. And then they decide that they're done with the family.
Yeah.
And Steve exits the family and never wants to be talked to, seen again.
Doesn't want to talk about the situation because it could have, like, easily been talked about.
It could have been so easily solved, I feel like, by Steve just regulating their emotions.
Exactly. And just calling like a normal person and just being like, hey, you, like, why did this happen? Why did you guys go without me?
I don't think that's even appropriate for Steve to say that, because you can't
control other people.
The person is going, Dymnd can celebrate whoever they want, just like you can celebrate whoever you want, and I can celebrate whoever I want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call you up and be like, why'd you do that?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
I can't tell you what to do. You're not going to tell me what to do either.
Yeah.
I can ask you what's your opinion of this and that, but ultimately, in the end, it's your choice to do whatever you want. Nobody's here telling each other, you need to do this, you need to act this way. We're all grown people.
Exactly. And that's the thing, though. If Steve had any type of issue, though, Steve, instead of calling and insulting, they could have talked like an adult, like a regular person, and just be like, this and this hurt my feelings, which I still feel like
I still don't agree with that.
There's nothing for them to have had their feelings hurt, but I just feel like there could have been a conversation rather than in like a literal attack, because it was just like a verbal attack on Dymnd. It was just, you're not getting nowhere. You're not solving nothing with that. That clearly shows that person doesn't want to solve anything. They just want to insult you. They want to get their anger out on you. When honestly, I don't see that Dymnd did anything wrong, because they literally put their plans in the group chat just like everybody else did.
Put their idea
out there. And they even said, like, at the end, like, okay, this is what I'm doing this time, blah, blah, blah. Personally invited Steve. Like, I just don't see how there's an issue. I really don't see how Steve has any right to be like mad or whatever. And then Steve didn't even care because Steve was out with their other friends. So that's the truth.
Steve was having a good time with their friends.
Yeah, Steve didn't want to celebrate. Steve didn't join the plans because what happened was they weren't honest that they had other plans. They should have just been honest about that.
Steve was having a good time. They were out, sightseeing, having a good dinner, lunch. I mean, I saw everything that they were doing, and they were having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, and so did we. It was a different plan, but we had a good time too.
Exactly.
We had a completely different thing to do, but that's because Steve didn't want to join.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The invitation was there. Steve could have joined. They knew the location, the time, everything. They were part of the whole.
And even on the day, Dymnd, I remember Dymnd showed us
Yeah.
that they had
Texted
again Steve.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, hey, Steve, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, so there's everything is open and honest.
And that's going the extra mile, because I wouldn't even do that. I would be like, you already started
the group chat, and that's it for me. I'm not going that extra mile to be messaging you personally.
Exactly, not me. I'm like, you already started in the group text. I don't know. I'm just a person, I don't even like communicating that much in general. Like, I'm not an over communicator like that. So like, if you didn't see it in the group chat, like, that's your problem.
Because Dymnd goes extra mile.
Dymnd goes extra mile. Dymnd's the type of person that goes the extra mile.
She goes
in
extra
a good
mile.
way.
She goes extra mile. She always just makes sure that everybody feels included and together, and very much like sees always a positive in people and all that stuff. That's pretty much how Dymnd is.
Yeah. And this person, Steve, they don't care about people. That's honest truth. They don't give a damn.
They don't care. Steve does not care. Steve only cares about themselves, honestly.
Yeah.
They really don't care about anybody's feelings.
Yeah. So now, many years later, Steve decides to. This is also the part that I don't like. It's always on their terms. So now Steve decides to reach out, because it is their they're the ones who exited them. They took themselves out.
They're the ones that hung up the phone on Dymnd. Poor Dymnd. Okay, Dymnd is left like, what the?
And said they didn't want a relationship anymore.
And said that that's done. They don't want a relationship anymore with Steve. Didn't want a relationship with Dymnd.
Yeah.
Or anything that has to do with Dymnd. That's it.
But like that side of the family.
Yeah. So then now all of a sudden Steve decides, years down the line, all of a sudden is like, hey, this is all through text again.
Yeah.
Not even I'm sorry. Just like, let's talk about the incident.
Yeah, exactly. Which I also, like I was saying before, I'm not even shocked that they want to talk about the incident, and I'm really curious if it ever were to happen, like what they think about the incident, because
they always blame it on other people.
They never take fault for anything, and they never want to talk about anything.
It's weird. Something's weird.
Yeah, something is up. It's very weird. So
ulterior motives. I feel like ulterior motives. I don't know.
We'll keep you guys updated on whatever that is, but let us know too. What do you guys think about this scenario? Because I know we're not saying 100% on the details, but we are trying to give you guys as much as we can. Yeah. And maybe one day in the future, maybe we will just open up and say it all. I don't know.
This needs to be a series, because this whole, I guess we can call it like a little drama.
Yeah.
Of this toxic family member. This is
a long time coming.
But when this happened, within this few months, there were so many things that happened beforehand that led to this day.
Yeah.
And all through their wrongdoings, honestly. That's how I see it. This could be a series.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a series.
This needs to be a series, because this is, if we decide to open up one day, I hope we do, you guys will be shocked. This is legit crazy. If we were to tell you the details, this stuff is crazy.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy.
Like, unfathomable. Like, something that you can't even explain. Like, you're just like, I can't even understand it sometimes.
The next time they do something, you're always just like, you can't imagine that they would do that, and then they do something else even crazier.
And you're just like you are just, I don't know, like whiplash. I feel like I got whiplash every time they do something.
And this person, Steve, has a thing where they like, I feel like they fixate on people.
They do.
So they have issues with somebody else too, but they also were like fixated on like just Dymnd. Like anything that Dymnd was doing, they were just like, that's wrong. Like anything that Dymnd would do.
Don't talk. Dymnd, don't talk. Don't say this, Dymnd. Yeah. Don't do that, Dymnd. Like,
exactly. Like trying to control Dymnd basically the whole time.
Like, this Dymnd, you need to remember that this person is this way.
Yeah.
And Dymnd, remember that person is like this, and that person is like that, and just like so controlling of Dymnd.
So controlling, and not wanting Dymnd to have like other relationships with people, like within the family, like, you know, like just even reaching out or talking to somebody. They would always make sure, like they would be like, oh, Dymnd, did you talk to so and so? Because remember that they did this, that, and the other. And a lot of times they were lies.
Or being like, Dymnd, I don't want you to talk to them unless I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has to be a three-way.
Yeah.
So Dymnd could only speak to, let's say, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Dymnd was only able to speak with Cynthia if Steve was there.
Of course, according to how Steve wanted it to go. And Dymnd did,
Dymnd fell for it.
A couple times.
I can't believe it.
I know, Dymnd fell for it a couple times, but then also Dymnd was like, you know, why do I have to listen to this person? Why do I have to do what they say? Like,
yeah, but Steve wouldn't let it happen. Every time that Steve was like, oh, you spoke to Cynthia? Okay, well, we need to get into a phone call, the three of us then, because I need to know what you said. It's just craziness. It's like, why does Steve have to know everything that Dymnd was saying to Cynthia? Why?
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb. Like,
and we're talking about grown adults here.
Grown adults. Okay, we're talking about grown.
I'm not talking about 30s. I'm talking about, 50s.
Middle age and up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not young people that we're talking about. The youngest people are like, honestly, our side of the family, which is like a little bit younger. So anyways, but we're not even that hard. We're hardly involved. It's just like we are just the like the bystanders that get pulled into it. Really, that's just like
we just got pulled into it, and it's crazy. I'm on Dymnd's side.
I'm on Dymnd's side too, because it just doesn't make sense. I don't agree with anybody trying to control somebody else.
I don't like that stuff. I don't like any of that controlling situations. I don't like it manipulating, and you can't talk to this person unless I'm present, and don't talk, don't speak, don't say it like this, say it this way, say it that way, send this message, don't send that message.
And saying lies. Too much. Because we personally caught them in a lot of lies, and we would tell Dymnd like, no, like, or Dymnd would believe us to be like, oh, it's okay, like just let this one slide. But it's like, how many do you let slide?
How many times do you let it slide?
And then also Steve picking on this other person, and us too. The other person would be like, that other person would end up sending us like voice recordings or like different stuff like that about how Steve would treat them, which we already knew. So to us, when we saw that, we were just like, of course. Like,
okay, we can name this person Mohammed.
Yeah.
Steve and Mohammed got into it too.
Yeah, Steve and Mohammed got into it too. And Mohammed showed us all we didn't even ask for this, okay? They put it also in the group chat.
Yeah, they put it in the group chat. You know, a lot of things happen in the group chat.
The group chat has been on fire. Well, it was back then.
It was
but
spicy.
Not in a good way. But Mohammed let us know of all these things. And like, again, we already personally, like, that was not a surprise to me. Although it was a little bit surprising that Mohammed would share it.
It was surprising that Mohammed would share it, and it was surprising the vocabulary that was used from Steve, because I had never heard Steve speak like that before.
Yeah.
Because this happened, the incident with Mohammed happened before the incident with Dymnd.
Exactly.
Maybe it was a foreshadowing.
Maybe it was. But honestly, now that happened, we look back and we're like, oh my God, like
we see all the signs.
We see all the different signs now, because, you know, we were kind of blinded by, like I'm saying, like you just let things slide, especially when it's like different family members. You're just like, okay, like they had a bad day or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But personally, me and my sister, I'm going to just say the truth. We always were like, this person is
from day one. You know, I believe that everybody has a little like superpower, whatever that, you know, some people are really good at math. Some people are great at, like, I don't know, writing, drawing, this. I'm really good at my intuition.
Yeah, about people and stuff.
And stuff like that. I feel like that's my gift. And I can tell, like, right off the bat, as soon as I see you, I already know what kind of person you are. And the only way that I do that is I don't think it's anything special, like, you know, but I just let you act how you act, and then I see who you are.
Exactly.
You show me who you are. I don't have to tell you who you are or dig. Yeah. The way that you act, the way that you talk, the way that you, everything, that just tells me exactly who you are as a person.
Exactly.
And this person, on their own doing, showed me clearly who they were.
Yeah.
From day one.
From day one. Yeah. So we never, like, you know,
was never that big of a fan of them. I tolerate them.
Exactly.
Tolerate them.
Exactly. Me too. And we never, like,
never got into it because it's not worth it. It's not worth my time.
Exactly. Never got into it. But we would just witness all these different things. But yeah, so like Mohammed had already shown that and kind of like exposed this person in the past. But even still, Dymnd didn't see it.
Didn't see it and didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Dymnd was still on Steve's side. Even though everything that happened with Mohammed, Dymnd was on Steve's side.
Yep.
Craziness.
But it's just a matter about whose turn it is next, because then Steve turned on Dymnd. So you never, you know, like this person Steve too, the reason why we also don't trust them much or anything is because, well, don't trust them at all, to be honest. Don't trust them at all, but like I don't like them at all, to be honest. That's just my honest truth.
Yeah, I don't like them either. I can't like them. It's too many things.
It's too many things, and it's just like, I don't know. This is the part where I'm just like, I don't think that just because you're quote unquote family, like I said, this is a distant family member for me, and I honestly don't associate. I don't.
No.
I don't claim them as family. So for me, I just don't see the reason why I have to put up with this person's, you know, toxicity. Yeah, I don't have to, and I don't want Dymnd to either, because I
don't want Dymnd to either. Why? Why should Dymnd put up with it? But you know, Dymnd is it's too much with Dymnd, because she's always trying to see the positive.
Yeah,
she's too much of a positive person. I don't know if that even exists.
But it's not even. It's like it's positive, but also like blind, because you can be positive. I consider myself a positive person, but I'm not going to be blind to the truth. You know, like
switching up my words. Yeah, she's blinded by this person. I don't know what this person does. I don't know what Steve has that literally blinds Dymnd.
Yeah, Dymnd has like a soft spot for Steve. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that, like, and I don't know how that soft spot continues to exist with
so much
all this stuff. Yeah.
Poor Dymnd.
I know.
I'm close to Dymnd, and I love Dymnd.
Me too. I love Dymnd.
But I cannot, if Dymnd wants to have Steve in their life, I can't accept Steve into my life because Steve is too much chaos for my life. I can't handle that. I don't want that. You know, I have a husband, I have a child, I have myself, I have my mom, my dad, my sister, like, you know, that's, I don't want, you know, more things. You know, we have, every family has things that they go through, health problems, health scares, whatever, the daily life, right? Yeah. And stresses of every day. And I just don't want to have Steve's issues on my plate.
Exactly. And I don't want to have Steve's, like, problems that they bring, because all that they bring is problems like with different people. Like they're like kind of like, I think they're made up problems because they're not even real issues. Like as you have heard here, like it's like about somebody not doing what they want. That is where the problem lies. Like somebody going and celebrating without them because they weren't able to make it. Like they want everybody to put their plans on hold. Like I don't know. They just want to control everything. Yeah. And I'm just like, that gets so annoying. This Steve has anger issues maybe or something like that they can't control their anger.
Or maybe they have control problems.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You never know. So anyways,
dealing with toxic family members is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy because, like we've said before, some people want them in their life. And if you're in that person's life, like we were talking about Dymnd, we're in Dymnd's life, you know, we're going to end up seeing Steve probably at some point.
Yeah.
Do we want to see Steve? You know, I don't, but I want to see Dymnd.
Exactly. I don't mind seeing Steve. I just don't, just in general, you know, with toxic people, you know, I feel like everybody has a different point of view, right? Like we were saying earlier and everything. I personally, like, I think a lot of people, or not even a lot, some people are able to forgive and forget. And you should always definitely forgive, because when you don't forgive somebody, like they say, it just weighs on yourself. Like that's just really, it's just for yourself that you forgive somebody. So I do find it hard to forgive Steve for a lot of things that they've done, whatever, to different people and to myself or whatever, you know. But I can't forget. I can't get myself to forget. I'm just not that type of person. So I don't know, like, you know, there's people who say forgive and forget. There's other people who say forgive but never forget. And I'm kind of more of that group, because I just feel like, how could you forget? And that's how things keep happening. And I feel like that's how these other people, you know, Dymnd, Muhammad, all these other people we mentioned, you know, again, these are all made up names, by the way, too.
They're all made up.
And we don't want to say the people's real names, but I feel like they're able to forget, and that's fine for them, but I can't forget.
And for me, I don't want to say I hold a grudge, but it's like I can't forgive and I can't forget. That's me, because I can only forgive if you show me that you have changed. Yeah. Then I can forgive you. Yeah. Because you can say sorry all that you want, and then you're doing it again.
Yeah, but they've never said sorry.
No, they've never said sorry. Yeah. I'm saying in general, right? A normal, you can say rational person, right. They would apologize. I would take the apology, but I would have it in my mind. I'm like, if you don't change your ways, I'm not forgiving you.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm not accepting the apology until I see changes. So that's why I am more, and I'm just like that in general. I don't like people that have all these issues and they always want to say sorry. At what point is it over? Right. And I'm not going to forget. I'm not the person to forget. I have a memory of an elephant. I do not forget anything, and I don't like it. I just don't like that stuff. If you want to forgive, change.
Yeah. And for me personally,
don't do it again.
Exactly. And I agree 100%. I'm like, what does I'm sorry even mean anymore? Unless if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like you should, like for me, instead of saying sorry, make a change, and then like that is more important. But also, you know, just like toxic family members in general, I just feel like, you know, we're talking about specifically about Steve, but even just keeping it more in general too, like I think the best thing kind of to do is, if you have to you know, run into this person again, or you know you're just gonna, like, you just have to be in that same kind of circle. I don't like to have bad blood either. Yeah. So I don't want to be like, oh, like I cannot look at this person, I can't talk to this person. But I do just 100% keep my guard up. And I'm just like, you know,
keep it very neutral.
Very neutral, like very neutral, very like, if talking has to happen, keep it small talk, even though I actually hate small talk. But, you know, I would just keep it at that level, because there's nothing that I want to say to that person anymore. You know, like if they're so toxic and I know how they behave and all the reactions and everything, I'm like, I just don't even feel the need or the want to like have a relationship with them of any type of sort. Like, why would I share my like even just like, you know, everyday life stuff? I just don't even feel comfortable to share that.
And with me, it's so easy for me to I can just ignore a person, and I can't get myself to even talk to them, because I don't know, with a family member, right? But there's people, like, if there's toxic people, I just ignore them, because I can't get myself to talk to them or anything, because I'm just like, I just don't want to be caught up in that again. I don't want it. So I just step back and if they say something, like, I just smile, but keep it like, yeah, cool, and that's about it, because I don't want that interaction, because I don't want to be caught up in all that drama. I don't like drama.
Yeah,
I really don't. And I like to live my life calmly. And,
exactly.
And I can't with Steve. I can't with Steve.
And especially all these like dumb things. It's so dumb. The drama that gets, it's like honestly like made up, I feel like, at this point, because like things will happen, like whatever, like you were saying, like things don't go their way, but they create like this whole like huge scenario, which it never has to be. Every time that they create like these huge like scenarios about different things, and like just cause a scene, basically, whether it's just in a group chat or whatever, but they like cause a scene, and it's like so unnecessary. I feel like if you really have issues, you could have talked about it in a different way. Number one. Number two, they have issues with everything, so it's hard for me to even like take their issues seriously anymore. But it's never serious.
It's like walking on eggshells, kind of.
Exactly.
Like anything that you say, like, oh God, are they going to take it this way? Are they going to take it that way?
Yeah.
Are they going to, like, how can you can't have a relationship, not even a friendship.
You can't live that way.
It's so hard. So that's why I just take a real like big steps back, and I just let them do their thing, and I do my thing, and I don't like to blend anymore. You know, like I don't even want to see them, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't care to see them either, but if I have to see them, like I'm saying, I just like to keep it neutral. Honestly, also just ignore, but like I like to like ignore without them kind of knowing that I'm ignoring them, if that makes sense. Maybe that's just in my head that they don't know, but more like avoid. I guess maybe I should say that. I kind of like avoid people. And I don't know if that's the right thing. Again, I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like that's what I do. I like will tend to just avoid to like, especially if it's like a family party, there's always somebody else you can talk to. There's always somebody else. And like, I always have like my go-tos, like, especially us, we always stick together.
We're always together, yeah.
I have a cousin that I'm always, we stick together too a lot. So, and I don't have the need, again, this person's a lot older than me too. I don't have the need to have a relationship with them.
And like we are two different people, and you know me, I'm more of just like, I really don't care. If they know that I don't like them, I really don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is what it is. And they're old anyway, so I really don't care. They're not a peer of mine.
No.
And so I don't need to be friends with an old person.
Yeah. No, and it's not anybody that has ever shown any like
not even loving towards us, or caring or kind.
Yeah, exactly. No caring, no nothing. Like I don't even know what other words to use. Like compassion. Like they don't even need to show compassion, but just in general have shown no like care for us. So for me. So I just don't see the point in having a relationship. So that's just me. But you guys let us know too. How do you guys handle toxic people in your life? Because like I said, for friends and stuff, for me, that's so easy.
Cut them out.
But when it comes to family, it does get tricky. It gets really tricky.
Especially with these whole like things like this person still likes them, but that person doesn't like them, but you don't like them, but you do like them, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It gets tricky.
We just wanted to share a little about toxic family members, because we know that everybody, like we're saying, everybody has toxic family members. I've heard from so many different people, like there's always somebody in their family, at least one, if not even more sometimes.
Yeah.
What should we do? What should Dymnd do?
What should Dymnd do? Please tell us, what should Dymnd do? Because, Dymnd is asking us, hey, like, what do you guys think about this? Steve is trying to get back into our life, because, Steve can get into Dymnd's life, but it doesn't mean he's going to get into our life. No, just because we like Dymnd does not mean that Steve has anything to do with us.
Right, exactly. And it's we're trying to also just support Dymnd, but it's honestly kind of hard to be neutral for me. It's really hard to be neutral because I have all this, we have all this history with Steve, so it's like,
and Dymnd knows everything. That's the thing too. Dymnd knows everything that has gone through it, that we have gone through, and we know everything that Dymnd has gone through.
Yeah. So that is, our toxic family member story, and it's so crazy how, when it's family members, you kind of like have to quote unquote put up with this stuff. But do you have to? Should we?
What do we do for Dymnd? What do we tell Dymnd?
Yeah.
You guys need to help us out in the comments. We need some help.
Let us know. And we'll keep you guys updated in the future and see what happens, because...
And if you guys made it all the way to this point, I don't know how many times we said Dymnd. So comment a Dymnd emoji. Yes. Let's see anybody who made it this far. Yeah. Okay. It's not fun to live this kind of like drama. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm not into it. I like to live a nice, normal life.
Exactly. Me
calm.
too.
I like to be calm.
Me too. That's what I like better.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep, and don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next week's episode. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys next Wednesday.
Bye. Hi guys, just checking in here with a little bonus clip because we just did not want to end this episode without giving a special shout out for Father's Day. We know it just happened a couple days ago, but our dad always loves watching our episodes, and we just want to add this little bonus clip here for him. So Bubba, we love you. Thank you for being the best dad in the whole wide world for us, and we love you so much.
Yes, Bubba, we love you. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for being the best dad ever. You're a great girl dad, because dad really is.
He really is a girl dad.
He's a really good girl dad. So we love you, Bubba, and happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Bubba. Love you.